Okay, so good evening, guys. Welcome back. We will continue with our Git session. So today is Git day 5 session, and today the date is 19th of November 2025, and the timing is evening 7:04 p.m. IST. So, guys, in the last class, we started with the Git, right? It was actually officially the day 1 session which we started the last class, and like we
Working
tried.
area, staging area, local repo,
Hmm, right.
and remote repo.
Right. So we had discussed a few of the things. Thank you. So we had discussed few of the things, right? We started with what is version control system is all about, like in the real time, right? Like when there are more than one developer who works on a project, right? How they exactly collaborate each other, and we need we need a place where we can store all the data. Actually, that is what we call the version control system, right? And we also saw the types of version control system like local, centralized, and distributed, and Git falls under the distributed version control system. And basically, there are five core stages, five core working area, right? These are the five stages we say. So working tree, staging area, local repo, not local area, local repo we say, local repo. And we have something as a remote repo, and the other one is stash is not really required as of now, so stash we'll keep it aside. We'll try to discuss stash later in some point of time, not now. Okay, so this is what we had. I think we had concluded our session here actually, right? So now the thing is that here, guys, what we had discussed, one more important thing is that actually that this first three stages, right? The working tree or the staging area and the local repo, right? This resides in our same machine. It means that when I'm working on a directory where I'm storing all the files, and once you have made that particular folder as a Git folder, then what happened, right? All these three stages, right? Working tree, staging area, and local repo, right? This comes under the same folder. It falls. All these three stages will fall under your own in your own local machine where you are working on the particular folder, right? So this is remote is something where you are externally pushing it actually. It means that once you did all the changes, once you have committed it, like later whenever you want to push that commit or push the changes, you can push into the remote repo actually. So this is something externally where you have a dedicated server where you have configured that server as a remote server where you will push the changes to this remote area or a remote repo actually. This we will be discussing all these things in our upcoming days now. So, right, if you want to really, if you want to understand in terms of an analogy, right, like what is this five stage or at least what is this four stage all about, right? I can just give a very good analogy, guys. Like for example, assume that actually that let me do one thing. Let me use some clips actually, or let me use some pictures. What I'll do, I'll just say home clip art. Guys, from morning, I'm seeing some internet fluctuation at my home. Okay, if in case if it goes down, right, let me know actually. Okay, so this is the home. So consider that actually you are initially in this home, right? You are initially at this home, right? And basically, what happened that you have newly constructed a home, which is kind of a villa actually, right? Where you have a nice swimming pool, and this is the villa actually, right? So now the thing is that, guys, here. So basically, what happened, right? Assume that actually that in your older home or in your previous home, right? We used to maintain a lot of books actually. Assume that in your home you had a big rack where you had you have kept all the books actually, which you always refer. Like for example, if you take a uh, image actually like Leopard, I'll just say bookshelf, sir. Let's checks whether we'll get any kind of a shelf. Yeah, but this is something where you have. This is like a shelf where you maintain it, and you have multiple shelves like this at your home. Okay. Now the question is that actually, guys, like suppose you are staying at a old home and you're having a rack of lot of books which you have kept in your home. Okay, and tomorrow you have constructed your own villa house or you are moving to your own new villa house. Now, along with the villa house, what you need to do means you need to even carry this books also to the new villa house. Now the question comes that how we are going to carry all these books, or what order, in what way you're going to carry out, right? So like to carry out, basically we need some kind of a truck, right? Basically you need to have some kind of a truck, right? So basically you will have a truck actually. Uh, I am looking for some simple truck. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a truck you will hire it actually, right? Basically. And now the question comes, right, like how you are going to take this actually, how you are going to take this, all the books, what is there in the shelf, right? Okay, you need not to take the shelf actually because shelf already it is there in a new home, right? So you will not be taking the shelf. Basically, you will be only carrying the books actually. Now the question comes that how you are going to take this all these books basically. So what we do, basically we collect all these books actually, we take the books, we categorize the books actually, because you could see that there are some physics books are there, some chemistry books are there, some maths books are there, right? You have a different combination of some philosophical book is there, some political science book will be there. So you'll be having multiple different types of books. Now, if you want to carry all these books actually to your new villa home, so obviously you will hire a truck. Okay, and what you're going to do next is that you will take some kind of a, I can say that you can take some kind of a cardboard box, and in that cardboard box, right, basically you can fill up all the books in that cardboard box. So what you do basically, you'll take a cardboard box, you will say that, okay, Raj, let me first keep all kind of a physics books, physics related books. So you, in that particular cardboard box, what you do, you will try to go and you will try to keep all those books, right? So let me go and think, let me and take this image. Card, can say cardboard box. Huh? Yeah, this is something I want. This is a cardboard box. You'll take it. So what you do basically, guys, you will go and you will try to take this cardboard. Okay, and then what you do basically, that you're going to fill all these books actually from here. You're going to fill into your cardboard box. Am I right, sir? You're going to fill in a cardboard box. Later, what you do, once you fill the completely cardboard box, you will wrap with the seal actually. You will take some plasters and wrap with some something. And what you do basically, you will also take a kind of an envelope actually, or like kind of a label, and you paste that label. In that label, you will try to write something like physics books, something like that. You will write it, right? So what you do basically, right? You will go and you will try to take a, you will finally what happened, right? You will get something like a sealed box actually, sealed um, carton box with label apart. So this is something like where I know you will have this. Where is a label? Okay, here you have something like label. You can consider this as a label actually. So I'll copy it and then like, so you have this box actually. Now finally you have this box where that box along with the along with the tapes and everything, there is a label it has been assigned to it actually. So that label basically you have it. So what you do finally, guys, you will try to take that and you're going to everything, you're going to load into your truck, and finally what happened, this truck will go to your new villa home, and where what happened, right, this truck is going to deliver all those cotton box to your new villa, right? So here what happened, right, if you take an analogy actually, your working tree, right, is nothing but your this is your working tree, this is your working area or working tree, right? So these are the books, right? These are all the books, and this is the working tree basically. And here what happened, right, once you take all these books, and once you are in a working tree, once you take all the books, you'll try to keep all the books in your box actually, and this box is something we call it as a staging area. We call this as staging area, right? After once you have a staging area, basically what happened, right? You need to take everything and you need to wrap with some kind of a tape. You need to put some kind of a label actually. You need to put some kind of a label and everything. And that whole process, whatever we are doing, right? Once you wrap it and once you push it, basically, then what happened, right? You need to get a kind of a sealed box actually. So basically, you'll get a sealed box like this. This seal box, you're going to get it actually. You're going to get a sealed box like this. So this sealed box, basically, it is called it as a local repo. The sealed box is all about is a local repo, right? Once you take this local repo, usually what happens, right? You need to shift from the local repo to the remote repo or to the Nivila actually. That's the reason you take this truck actually. So this truck will act like a protocol. It acts like a protocol. It means that basically it acts like a protocol. So how you are going to push the code, the complete the code what is there from the local repo to the remote repo? Basically, you have to use some protocol. Like for example, use HTTP protocol, or you will be using SSH protocol for transferring actually, right? So from the local repo, you want to push the data to the what happens, sir? Yeah, remote repo actually. So in that, so when how you can push it from the local remote repo, you need some kind of a protocol, right? For example, either use SSH protocol or either use HTTP protocol for transferring from the local repo to the remote repo, and that is what this truck does actually. Truck act like a transporter actually. Am I clear, sir? So now, so usually what happened, right? Like basically when you are having in a staging area and when you want to, from the staging area, when you want to get a local repo, basically we do some kind of a, something we call as a commit actually. When you do a commit, basically we are attaching a kind of a label to it actually. With apart from that, there are some other metadatas are there along with that. You when you try to do a commit, some apart from the label, there are some other metadatas are there which will be created actually. So this box, the entire box, whatever we are having, right? This we call as a local repo. So later what happened? This has to be sent to your remote server or the remote repo. This is something we call it as a remote repo. And through this protocol, HTTP or HTTPS protocol, basically, guys, you're going to transfer it actually. You're going to transmit. Am I clear, sir? This is the kind of analogy which I want to give you. Now you can understand that the working tree at the staging area and the local repo, all this resides under the same folder where you're working, right? Later, what happened once you try to move from the working to the staging area, okay, and from the staging area to the local repo. So how do you do it? Means you are trying to do a commit actually. So once you commit it, the data will be coming in the local repo, right? So that local repo, what you do that you try to push into the remote repo actually. And for pushing it, you use the HTTP protocol or SSH protocol, right? So all these three stages will be a part of a single server or where you will be managing your local directory or folder where you're working. And this will be kind of a remote repo. It is something, it's an external machine or it's an external server where you will be maintaining all this information about your about all these things, whatever you're working on, right? Like you will be maintaining the finally in the remote repo actually. Am I clear, sir? So till here, like we had discussed in our last session, actually, right? Now, what we're going to do today, let us try to understand about how exactly this Git works, what are the Git commands are there, and we'll also check like what are the Git options commands are which are there, so that we will start working on, working on understanding about all these Git commands and how do you play around with all with this working area, staging area, and the local everything, right? Local repo, remote repo. So we will try to understand a deeper way in today's session, like how we will go ahead with understanding with the command line actually, right? So for that, what I will do basically, guys, let me check in my system. I think I don't have a Git actually. Let me check actually if Git is there or not. So let me check with the Git -FN version. So if you try to run this command, so yeah, there are no there's no Git installed in my system. So, or else you can even do the right click and you go with the show more option. Here also there is no Git bash actually. So basically what happened, right? You need to go and install the Git actually. You have to go and install the Git. So installing Git, there are various ways are there. Like for example, you can go to your Google and try to just say that installing Git in Windows, uh, right? In Windows 11, right? Basically, you will get this installing for Windows Git SCM, right? If you go and click on it, basically you will be able to install your Git through a standalone installer. You'll go with the Git for Windows x86 If you click on this, it will start downloading the package and you can go and double click and install it. So this is in case of Windows. Suppose like you said that Rajesh, I don't want to install it. I want to just have it actually a portable way where I need to have all executable everything in a single folder. Then you can download this portable thumb drive edition, right? You can download and you can keep it actually. Right. So same thing. This is in Windows. In Mac OS, basically we install through Brew actually. So Brew install Git. If you try to do right, you will be able to install the Git in your MacBook actually. Same thing if you're working on Linux machine, you have to suppose if you are installing the Git in your Ubuntu server basically or the Debian or the Ubuntu machines, right? You have to just run this command sudo apt install Git, right? And then like it will be installed. If it is not installed like this way, you have to just add this repo and then you have to install it. By default, what happened, guys? Whenever you are taking up any new version of Ubuntu server, by default, that Ubuntu server, everything comes along with the Git installed. You need not to really go and install it separately. It comes along with that operating system itself. But still, if assume that in some case where you will not find the package, you have to go and run these commands to get the Git installed in your system. So since I'm working on Windows and I have to install the Git actually, I can go this way or in the command line, there is something like a winget is there actually. So can you see the command? So this is the command which I can run through my PowerShell terminal. So I'll copy it. So installing Git on Windows using winget command. So for that guys, what you have to do that you have to just run this command actually. Winget and specify this command basically. Am I clear, sir? Right? So now here what happened? If you go to this command, I think -e source winget, it's not required. I think till here it is sufficient. Winget install -fn id, right? Or else you can just say that, uh, where is it actually? You can just say that winget git actually. So if you just try to search for this, right, you will able to get something like that, a win get something like that. Yeah, you can go with any of this. So they would have given the command actually to install. Can you see here? This is the command actually. Win get install -fn edit dot dit -e. Yeah, you can copy this command and you can here you can maintain this command here. Like this is the command, guys. So what I will do basically, I will go to my terminal and here I'll try to just paste this command actually. So can you see that, guys? You're installing the Git here. Okay. Either you can download the package or you can either go with the Windows installer, right, to install it. But this, I feel like this is good because wherever you work, right, basically you have to always learn about in the command line how to do everything, let it be Windows or Linux or Mac OS, right? You need to be familiar with the command line. Hence, you have to always use the commands for installing and commands for uninstalling. Whatever you do with the package manager, everything you have to do through command only. Am I clear, sir? So once you install it, you could see that actually the Git installed. You can just say git -fn version. If you run this command, or I'll just say git. Uh, okay, I have to open one more time the terminal. Okay. If you run the git command, can you see that now, guys? The git is installed, right? The git is installed, right? Or else you can go with the right click here, go with the show more option. You could see that you will get this option enabled, right? Open git bash here and open git GUI here. This is what you have to get it actually. Once you get this, you could see that you can even open your bash terminal also. So this acts like a bash terminal where you can run all kind of a git commands here in this bash terminal also, right? So right now what happened, right? We'll be playing around everything here itself, guys, actually, right? We'll be playing around everything with the terminal itself. So this is my Windows terminal where I will be I'll be executing all the commands in my Windows terminal itself actually. Am I clear, sir? Now what we will do now, let us try to play around now and let us try to create some kind of a repositories actually. So what is the first thing what we'll be doing, that I'll be creating a local repository. Let me try to play around with creating a local repo, how to do everything. So now, for example, like whenever you want to work on a Git, guys, basically what happen, you need to first create a new folder, right? A new folder you need to create it. So basically you have to create a new folder, right? And afterwards, what happened, right? You can create one directory. Say, for example, if I try to create a directory, something like anything, like for example, mkdir, what is it actually? Hello Git actually. This is what I will be creating a directory. So what I will do, that I will go here and because see, you could see that I'm sitting under slash user Rajesh. If I exit pwd, you could see that this is a path where I'm sitting. So what I can do, that I can create one directory here. Like for example, mkdir. Okay, I can just say hello hyphen git. Or else you can even open your folder. See, you are sitting and here actually, this is nothing but your home directory for Rajesh. Here also you do a right click, you can do a right click and you know that you can create a folder like this also directly, right? So either you can use in the GUI or else you can be here, and what you can do basically, you can able to create a directory by using the mkdir command. So if I do a mkdir command and I'll just say hello git actually. So this is a new folder which I'm creating, guys. So once you create it actually, so basically what happened, you have to uh, let me write down, then you have to do a cd to the hello git, right? I'll do a cd to the hello git. So this is your empty directory. If you do ls, nothing is there. If I do dir, nothing is there, right? Now what happened, right? Now you need to initialize the git repo actually. So what is the next step you have to do? You have to do initialize the git repo. So basically, guys, how do you initialize it? How do you make a folder as a Git repository? Because folder is something, it's like a storage actually, right? Suppose, for example, you have some file by name hello.txt. It has some word as a hi. In the next time, what you do, that you say that Rajesh, I want to write something extra into that file actually. When you start writing it, basically what happened, it might overwrite the existing data. So then what happened? You will not be maintaining any kind of history. It means that it acts like a plain storage only. Whatever the latest change which you have did, right, that is available in your storage actually. But when you want to maintain the history of the changes, whatever you did, right, then it means that that folder wherever you're working, right, that it should support all kind of a history changes basically. So that is basically that is somehow when you might try to make it that folder as a repo, as a Git repo, right? Then it will start managing or maintaining the complete history of it. It means that whenever you try to create any files or anything in that folder, now what happen, your Git will start managing everything, the history actually, right? So initially what happened, right? You need to initialize this folder as a repo actually. So for that, what happened, right? You need to run a command by name git init command. You are initializing it. It means that you're making this hello git folder as a repo actually, right? And say enter, enter. Can you see here, guys? It has initialized the empty git for a repository, right? So how it has initialized means under this git hello git, it has created one hidden directory by name dot git actually. So if you try to go to the folder here, can you see there is a folder by name git hello git? Yeah. If you go inside it, can you see there's a dot git folder is there actually. So now this dot git folder, it's a hidden directory. So this will tell that actually that your hello git folder is no more a normal folder. It now become a git repo. Okay, because it has this git folder, dot git folder. That dot git folder, it has some content inside it. Like for example, it had a header, it has hooks, it has object, it has a reference. There are some files, important files and folders are there. Okay, under this dot git folder. What is this dot git folder all about? We will discuss in some time. But right now, what I have to understand that whenever you run a git init command, what the git init command will do that it initialize that folder. After initializing, basically it will try to create one directory as a hidden directory as a dot git actually. Under that, what happen, it will try to have so many other files or other directory. So with this dot git, you can make sure that now your folder hello git is under version control. It means that whatever you try to create, whatever you try to do any operation under this folder, right, everything will be tracked by your git actually. The git will maintain or tracks all the information about what are the changes you do onto this folder actually. Suppose today you try to create some 10 files, you commit it, later tomorrow you delete that file or you modify the file. You might be doing a lot of operation onto the files actually, right? So basically all the operation, whatever you do, right, the git will manage all the things. It will maintain all the history of whatever the changes you have did onto the files actually. That is what happened. This dot git will be there. So what you have to make out that when you are working on Windows, guys, whenever you want to see all kind of hidden folders. So basically in Linux, we know that whenever any file or a directory starts the dot, it's a hidden file or it's a hidden directory. So this is a hidden directory. So always in Windows, what you have to do that you have to go to the view, come over here and show here. Now both these things, file name extension and hidden item, both should be enabled actually. If you just disable it, can you see here? You cannot see the dot git folder. Hence what happened, you have to come onto the view, show, and you have to always click on this hidden item so that you can even see all the hidden folders or the hidden files, everything, right? And also, as I said, right, you need to even maintain this uh, file name extension also. So whenever you're creating any file with an extension, right, that should also be reflected here, right? So all those things changes, extension should also be reflected, means you have to just enable that option actually. Am I clear, sir? Right? Now, once you do that, or else you can come over here in the terminal. Like if you do an ls here, nothing is there. If you do an ls-al, ls-a, I think it will not show here. So what you have to do means you have to open the bash terminal actually, right? You can do a right click here and you can go with the bash shell. I think it is not configured. Basically, what you can do that you can do a right click here and then like you can show more and you can open your bash here actually like this. So like this basically, right? And you could see that under C, right? Users, Rajesh. Yeah, under that you have a hello kit. This is a folder actually. So where I am there, right? PWD, you could see that this is a folder. When I do LSF and A, you could see that actually it is showing me that .git folder. Am I clear, sir? Right? Okay. Now, so once you do a git init, as I said, guys, what the git init will do basically to initialize the git, we run a command as a git init, and this git init this will create a new folder by name .git. So guys, today I'm writing something. From tomorrow notes what happen, I will not write anything because today is the first day, right? Let us try to write some maintain notes so that people understands it on the first day, what things are happening. Once we know all these things, right? All basic things we know, I'll stop writing all these notes. Actually, I don't need it. Basically, whichever main important things are there, only for that only I will write notes. Otherwise, it is not really required. Only for the first day, we will write some few notes actually, right? So .git folder is a new folder will get create actually, right? Now guys, whenever we want to check the status of status actually, so right, so whenever we want to know the status, okay, let us know the status actually. So to know the status actually, basically what happened, there is a git command, along with that there is an option known as a status command, status option. We always use this git status a lot of time just to see what is the status of the current status now, right? So if you go here and if I try, I already initialized it. If I try to do a git status here, it says that nothing is there. No branch master, no commit, nothing is there to commit. It means that nothing is there. It's plain clean. That's what this get status command is showing you. Am I clear, sir? Right? Now the thing is that, guys, like here, as per the diagram, if you open the MS Paint, like as we discussed, right, we are having the first three stages like this, right? This is nothing but this is the first stage, right? Let me have this three stage like this. First stage, second stage, and third stage, like this. Okay. So this first stage is nothing about your working tree. The first stage is about the working tree. And the second stage, what we call the staging area. And we have a local repo. This is the third stage actually. Am I clear, sir? Now the thing is that actually, guys, now when you do a git init, right? You are sitting in a folder here. Like in case of here, it is something like a hello hyphen git is a folder where you are sitting inside that folder. Inside that folder, what we did a git init actually. So basically, what happened initially, you are inside this folder and you did a git init so that it initialize it. It initialize means it initialize the git here under this folder hello git actually. So what happened? What happened that you are actually sitting in your working tree only. So once you are in this folder, okay, or in the directory where you are doing some operation, you are basically sitting and doing some kind of a changes here in this working tree only. Right. Now you say that Rajesh, now when I do a git status, it is showing nothing here. It means that there are no changes, nothing is there, everything is blank actually. So suppose that tomorrow you try to create some file here and you try to create some files, everything. Basically what happened, all your file exists or resides in your working tree only, that file. And now what happened, right? Later, what you have to do means you have to take that files, all those changes, whatever you did in your local repo, you have to go and uh, you have to go and you have to you have to push the changes to your staging area. So for that, there is one command is there known as a git add command. You basically have to call an add option for you to move the file or a data whatever you have in your working tree to the staging area. And from the staging area later, you say that I want to move that to a local repo. How we are going to do that actually, basically. So we will be doing with the help of a commit actually. So there is an option when you commit. If you do a git and I'll say commit. So there's an option with the commit. So what commit will do basically from the staging area, you will be pushing into the local repo. How you do that with the help of a commit option. You will always use the command git commit space hyphen m and specify some message details. In that way, we are going to push the from the staging area to the local repo. Now, as I said, right, guys, all these three areas, whatever we are having, or the three stages, everything resides in the same local machine itself, wherever you are working. Or to be very specific, wherever you are working on the folder, right? Here in this case, it is Hello Git, right? All the three stages, right? Working tree, staging area, and local repo, everything will be there as part of this same in the same folder itself, actually. Hello Git. Right. So now the question might come like Rajesh, why we have these three stages? Why not only one stage? Why we have to actually maintain these three stages? That is first question which will come. Can I skip any one stage? Right. Suppose for example you say that okay, I'll take a working tree. Can I directly can I directly push all the changes from working tree to the local repo, skipping the staging area? Okay, that is the second question which will come to our mind. Or else can we complete discard it? We can completely remove this area, staging area from our entire flow. Is it possible? Or else the question comes out, why we have a staging area and why working tree? I understand. Okay, that is a local repository which you started working on it and you first initialize it by using git init and later you started working on it. Yeah, we need a working tree. But why we need a staging area? Or what is the use of the staging area? Right? And is there any way to skip the staging area? It means that from my local working tree, can I push directly all things to the local po? All such questions is coming in your mind, guys. Don't worry, we will be resolving all those questions one by one. But right now, what I would say at this point of time that all these three stages should always be there. working tree should be there, staging area should be there. Without that, things will not work. And finally, even local repo should also be there. All these three stages, whatever we have discussed so far, that should always be there. You cannot skip any one of the stage. You cannot even say that, Rajesh, from the working tree, can I push directly the code changes to the local repo? That is also not possible. So you should have the staging area also. Without that, things will not work. Why we have that and all? Why we are maintaining these three stages and all? Yeah, we will discuss everything like in some time, or else in the next class I will discuss about that. But everything, all these three stages should be there, guys. Am I clear, sir? Right? Right. Now what you do basically, right, Rajesh? Now fine, I understood now. Okay, I understood now. Now assume that actually I want to create a new
Uh,
file now. Now I need to
Rajesh,
start. Yes, sir.
what exactly will happen in the staging area?
That's what, sir. We will discuss. Don't worry. We will
Okay,
discuss
okay,
all
okay.
those things. That's what I said. That
Hmm.
without any one of this, you cannot skip. You cannot go further. We need to have staging area. We need to have a local rep. Everything should be there. Without this, you can't work actually. You cannot even say that, okay, let me directly have only one area working tree. I don't want staging area. I don't want local repo. I don't need these two stages. Can I have with only one stage? That is also quite not possible. You need to have all these three stages.
Okay.
Okay. We will discuss that. Okay. Fine. Now the next question comes, Rajesh. Shall we play around with these commands and everything with this option? Yes, sir. So for that, what we do basically, we have to be in the folder and let me create a file now. Okay. Let me do something. Let me. Okay, you did it. What you do basically now, create a new file. Okay. So what you do basically, you have to create a new file. So basically, because you are in Windows, right, you have to use a command by name new hyphen item. And let me do one thing. Let me create one file by name something readme.txt file. So I'm creating this file. So can you see here, guys? You have created this new file by name readme.txt. If you go to this folder, inside it, can you see here readme.txt file you have created under the hello get? A file has been created now. Okay. Now, once you create a file, let me run the git status command to just check what is the status. If you execute a git status command and say enter, can you see here that it is saying that actually that there are no commit yet, fine. But it also says that there is a readme.txt file is there, but it is in an untracked file state. So basically, this file is in an untracked state actually. And you can also see there's a coloring, something the red color. There's a culling was a red color. It means that right now you are your git has your git is saying that actually there is one file which just arrived now, which is just created now, which is called the readme.txt, but it is not been tracked. Git is not really Git has still not tracked this file. It means that this file is not under the git control. It is not under the git control. It means that git is still not have a control onto this file. It is not maintaining any kind of information about the file or any kind of a versioning or history of this file. It is not maintaining. That's what it is saying as a untracked file actually. Now guys, always what happened, like when you do a git status basically, you'll always see predominantly two types of files. One is an untracked file and other is a tracked file, we say. Tracked file is something where what happened, right? That file has come under the git control, and git started managing that file. It means that managing means basically it started maintaining the versioning on that file actually. So since this is newly created file, it is showing you as a untracked file actually. So now what happened, right? Now once you create a file, basically what you did, like you did a git status, and you got to know that readme.txt file is in is under untracked actually. Untracked, what to say, untracked file, right? So what you do that now, you need to if you want to always make it under the track, actually you want to make under track. It means that basically, guys, as per the diagram, if you want to make it under track means you need to push that file from the working tree to the staging area. So once you push that file from the working tree to the staging area, then what happened? Your Git will start tracking that file actually. It will start tracking that file, right? So now let's add the changes. It means that basically change means let's add this what is that file readme.txt to the staging area. To the staging area. Am I clear, sir? To the staging area. How do you do that? Basically, you have to use a git command, git add, and specify the file name, right? Specify the file name, or else you can just say git add, specify the directory name. Anything is fine. Either you can give a file name or a directory name. It will make that file into the staging area. So shall we go here? And if I try to do a git add and specify the file name, that is readme.txt file, I will say enter. Now you could see that actually, guys, now when I try to do a git status, you could see that your file is now under tracked actually. So now whenever you try to add that file, right, you run a command git add and specify the file name. What you are trying to do that as per the diagram, you are making that file to come into the staging area. So right now this file which was there under the working tree, right? What is the file name? Readme.txt, which was under the untracked state. Now, once you try to call an add command like git add and specify that file name, this file has been moved to the staging area now. And now this file will has become in a track. It means that your git started tracking this file. Your git started tracking this file. Am I clear, sir? So how do you track any file, guys? When you do an add, when you try to run an add command, it means the add option, git add and specify the file name. That file will be moved from the working to the local to the staging area. Now what happened? Your file will be under track. Actually, it means that your git will start tracking that file information. Right? Suppose, for example, you try to do editing that file. Like today you have the file content, tomorrow you come and edit some certain things. So your Git will maintain all kind of a versioning. Okay, earlier this was the data which was there in that file. Now a user has did changes and all. Okay, now it has latest updated some data available in that file. So it try to keep all kind of a changes. Try to maintain all kind of history behind that file changes actually. Am I clear, sir? Right? And now once you run it, so what we did basically, guys, we again try to run a git status command. So once you run a git status command, now it says that actually your file is under the track now. It's under track now. It comes under from untracked to it become to the track now. Am I clear, sir? Now, some question might come like in your mind that Rajesh, I have that file into the readme.txt, but mistakenly I created this file and mistakenly I did the git add command. Is there any way that file which is there in the staging area, I want to bring it back to the working area? It means that basically I want to revert all the changes, whatever I did so far, from the staging area to the working tree. Oh, can I revert it back? Yeah, you can do the revert back. What is that? We will see it later. Okay. Or is there any way to restore it? We say yes, restoration is also possible. How to do that? Everything? Yes, we will see all such things. Suppose, for example, tomorrow you have a file in a tracking area, staging area, and that staging area you committed, and that file is part of the local repo now. Now again the question comes, Rajesh, I don't want to, I shouldn't have been committed. I want that file back actually. I don't want that file to be a part of the local repo. I want to revert it back. Is there any possibility that that file which was earlier, it was in staging area, now it is a part of the local repo? Should I want to retrieve back to the staging area or retrieve back to the working tree or remove that file completely from this entire version? Can I do all such things, operations? Yes, sir. You can do all those operations. What are those? We will see later and all everything. Like we have sometimes the revert is there, get revert is there, and right, we will be using that option for reverting any kind of a changes actually. Okay, so those are all some interesting things are there which we have to learn because these are the things which will be asked in an interview. So we all should know about all those options also, right? Now what happened, right? Right now your file is under the staging area. From the staging area, you want to push that file into the local repo. So what you do basically, guys, now what happened, right? Now let's let's commit the changes actually. So for that committing the changes, guys, commit the changes. git commit requires the following details actually. So what are the following details it requires basically? It requires the username, it requires the email ID, it requires a commit message, right? And also it requires some kind of a date time, right? These are the things which is required whenever you're committing. It means that when, as per the diagram, from the staging area, if you want to make this file into the local repo, right, it needs all these details: user ID, username, email ID, commit message, as well as a date and time. Date and time by default it comes along with that when you're committing. You don't have to explicitly say anything about the date and time. But apart from this, these three informations are required actually. Right, the username is required, email ID is required, and the commit message is required. So date time basically we don't pass it actually, we don't pass it. Basically what we do, we need not pass this info. Okay, apart from this, these three informations are required actually. Okay, so whenever you are trying to whenever you want to set the username, this is a one time activity actually. It's a one time activity. It means that you need to first set the username, and email ID also is one time activity. Okay, commit message, what happened basically, you have to pass as an argument actually. So whenever you are committing it, you need to pass a commit message also. So you need to pass an argument actually. So now what happened, right? How do you create the username set and the email ID, everything is set. So let's set the username and email ID. So for doing that actually basically guys, there is one command is there. You need to use this command, git config -fn, what is it, -fn global user dot name. Say for example, if I take my name, okay, I'll just take my name Rajesh. Git config -fn global. What is it? User dot, one second, guys. So you have user dot email, and I will give my email ID. So these are the one-time activity, guys. You have to run this, execute this command one time. Once it is done, right? It remains it actually. You need to again do this command again. There's no need of executing this command. Once you do this, okay, you have set the username and you have set the email ID. So why we do this? Because that when you are committing it actually from the staging area to the local repo, when you're committing actually, basically you will get you'll get some commit ID. That commit ID, it has all those information. Like for example, it has who is a user who has did this commit. Okay, Rajesh is a user who did it. What is his email ID? Okay, it will say that. So it is just like a metadata information. It has to just publish the data details about, okay, who is the user and what's his email ID who committed it actually. Okay, so when you're trying to run this command, basically Git doesn't authenticate it actually. Git doesn't authenticate, okay, this email ID exists or not. It doesn't authenticate. Similarly, it doesn't even, there's no way of authenticating the username also. So whatever we are passing it, like with the help of a git config -fn global user.name, right? It will consider that data as it is actually. There is no way of authenticating all this information. So for the Git, it needs these two important information. One is the name, the person who is working under this repo, as well as the email ID with which he can be further contacted. Suppose tomorrow, suppose somebody want to contact to you and he want to just check that, okay, Rajesh, in this repo there is some issues there. Could you please help me out? So you need to get some details about the person, right, who did the commit and all, right? For that you will mention all. You will try to set all these things. So shall we go and run this command? Yes. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this command. Go to your terminal and just try to run this command, right? And also you will go here, try to copy this command, git config -fn global user dot email, and specify the email ID. Go and run this command. So these two commands, for the first time, as I said, guys, you have to execute it. It's a one-time activity. After that, you need not to do again, right? Once this is done, now what happened? Let's commit now. Let's commit the changes actually. So for committing the changes, basically what we do, like we run a command known as a git commit -m. specify the message. For example, I'm doing for the first time. I need to give some valid message, something like this is my first commit actually, like this first commit actually, right? So this is what the message you will be putting actually, right? So now we'll go here, and what I will do that, guys, I'll just say git commit hyphen m for message. I'll just say first commit, right? This is the command which I will be running in action. Clear? And so enter, enter. Now you could see that actually that you have did the commit now. So where you did the commit, it means that from your staging area, you committed the changes to the local repo. Now this file has been moved from the staging area to the local repo. Now your local repo is maintaining the information about this readme.txt file. How you did it? With the help of a git commit command. Git commit hyphen m option and specify some message actually. So with that, what happened? You have committed it actually. Now you need to check it out. What is the git status, right? I'll just say git status and say enter. So it says that nothing to commit. Already whatever it is there, everything has been committed. It's a clean working tree now. Okay, there's nothing more to commit actually. That like that you are seeing this message actually, right? But I want to check all the view actually, like, right? So I want to check all the view. So what is it actually, guys? What you want to check it? You want to say that I committed it, Rajesh. Now I need to let me check the or let me view the Git history. I want to view the Git history, right? Then what is the command you do? You basically call a command by name git log. Git log. So if you go over here, and if you try to run a git log, so you committed it, right? And if I do a git log and say enter, can you see, guys? It will show you like who did the commit. Okay, it is a Rajesh who did the commit. Fine. What is his email ID? Yeah, this is email ID. Okay, what is the date and time? Yeah, this is the date and time. And what is the commit message? When he committed, what was the message was there? You could see that this is a commit. And it has generated one commit ID, big commit ID. So what is this commit ID is all about? Everything we will discuss in our upcoming session. Okay, there is something is there now the head actually which is pointing to your master actually. What is this header pointing to master? All these things we will be discussing in our upcoming session. Am I clear, sir? So till here, guys, do you have any kind of questions or doubts? No?
No,
So we
Rajesh.
can we can we can use like git commit command also, right? Yes.
No, we did the git commit only, no? Git commit hyphen m and specify this, right? To commit the.
Uh, I need to check the logs, like commit IDs. So
Mm.
is there
We'll,
any other command?
yeah, we'll see, sir, all those things actually. We'll see. Don't worry. We can dissect that commit actually. We can even check like what this commit ID is all about actually. Okay, right now understand
Yes.
that when you do a commit ID will be generated actually. Okay, there will be something like a SHA SHA-1 algorithm will be there. With the help of the SHA-1 algorithm, what happened? Right, it's going to generate this commit ID, a big number with some alphanumerical combination number it will create it actually. And this would be the commit ID. For any changes, whatever you do into the Git, right? Git will manage with the help of a commit ID. Right? So guys, now the thing is that like there are so many commands are there in the Git actually, right? A lot of commands are there. We cannot remember all the commands, but what you have to do is you need to always practice many of the commands, Git commands, so that you remember I mean, automatic what happen, you will tend to remember many of the commands, whatever you do in the day-to-day activity. So I would suggest that always you go and you try to always, you try to always do a help actually, like for example, if you try to do a git and if I say add, you saw right in the some time back I use a git add command, git space add space and specify the file name I did. Suppose I want to see some more options actually, you can just say git add hyphen help actually like this. So in a Windows, if you run it, by default, it will open a manual page in your browser itself where you will be seeing this. What is a git add and what are the options are available? Like, right? What are the options are available? So you will get to know so many information about like what are the other options which are available after the git add, right? Like that, you will see it actually. right? Or else you can just say git hyphen hyphen help, right? You will see git add is there, add a file content to the index actually. Right, index is number the you can call it the staging area actually, and this is how you need to understand it. Means that you need to learn all the things, all the concept, everything to the command. And plus, what happened? Right, it is always better that actually you try to download some kind of a cheat sheet actually, right? You try to download the cheat sheet actually. So how do you download it? You go to the Google and just say git cheat sheet download. If you try to go through it, you'll get many sites, but I would prefer you to go with that. What is that? Atlassian site actually. So if you go with that, git cheat sheet download with from the Atlassian site. So this is the Atlassian site, guys. So atlassian.com. They have given some decent cheat sheet. If you come down here, these are cheat sheet actually. So you can go and click on the download. Once you download it, basically what happened, right? You will get this cheat sheet. So I would prefer you to download this small PDF, 2 3 pages. You can go through all this. This is the very basic common commands what we use in day-to-day activity. So there's nothing like a fancy, right? You will see that okay, rewriting git history, use rebase, reflog, git branch is there, branch related commands, repo related commands actually. Okay, undoing changes, revert back, reset back, clean, right? If you go to the other page, right, you will get the git config which we run just now, right? Git config fnfn global, like that we have some configuration, git config related commands, git diff command. So you will get some few commands, you will get it. You can take this and always you refer to this cheat sheet so that you remember all these commands. And also like when you start working on the system and you work on more and more git related commands, right, by default all those thing comes to your mind only. You need not to really worry about how do I maintain it, or how do I basically remember all these commands. You need not to really worry about all those things actually, right? Cheat sheet there. And if not this cheat sheet, guys, you can refer to some other cheat sheet who have designed and written. Some people have seen that they have written very big lengthy cheat sheet. They have written more than some 20 30 page cheat sheet. They have written on all commands and options, whatever we use it in a day-to-day activity, everything is mentioned in the cheat sheet. So you can even download that such kind of a cheat sheet also, and you can basically you can like you can do it. Now the thing is that, guys, now when you learn something like okay, Rajesh, I create one folder. First I do a git init, and then I do a git add, and then finally I do a git commit. So you need to learn all those things, guys. Whatever you execute that command, no, you need to understand in a better way. I already covered something in the first few sessions, right? Now the AI tool, right? Basically, you can go with the Chat GPT and you can ask to the Chat GPT saying that okay, you act like a Git. You act like a git and I want to enter some commands, and like basically you want to tell me what this command does, what this command does. You need to ask to the chat gpt itself. So I would always recommend, guys, that you use the chat gpt also effectively at your work, because through that you'll be able to learn many things. So for example, if I go to the chat gpt here, quickly we will just write one prompt actually, right? Act as a git, uh, act as a git, and I will be what is it entering git commands. Tell me, tell me what the command does. Ensure you, what is it? Give necessary, what is it? Explanation and example. Something like this is a prompt which I built it actually. This is a prompt I built it. Now you could see how it works. Now what happened is ChatGPT will act like a Git only. Right? See, sure, Rajesh, I'll act like a Git terminal with an expression. See, go ahead now. So I'll just say, Rajesh, I want to understand what that git init does. Like first command which I execute, right? Git init. I'll just say enter. So you could see that, guys, it will say that, okay, this initialize a new Git repository in your current directory, right? When to use it as a DevOps or a developer, you have to just say Git init. You want to kickstart a new project with a Git. You want to convert an exit directory to a Git repo. You are preparing to directory push to this. So you need to have the repo, that's it. Now you could see that it will create a .git folder. Inside that you have all these contents. So he's giving example like mkday my project, cd to the my project, and do git. So like this, you could see that actually you'll also see that there is something like a git init hyphen fn bear. What is it? We will discuss about this in some time. Okay. And see, you will get a lot of information like this. Now, next, what we did basically, we did a git add command, right? I'll just say git add. Now you see what git add does actually. Okay, so what the git add will do, git add will is going to stage a file actually. It's going to stage from the working tree to the staging area, index area. It will be pushed with the help of a git add command, right? And whatever the commit you're doing, that will be changed into this .git folder actually, right? And git add will move the file from the working directory or the working tree to the staging area. When to use it, what is it? You will get beautifully all these commands, guys, actually. So this is what I need from you all, that you need to effectively use the ChatGPT or Perplexity or Perplexity, or is what is that? Gemini is the right. Google's Gemini is the right. Please use this actually. So what I did, guys, you have to always use this prompts. You have to write this prompts actually. Copy, right? Use the ChatGPT to further update and use the following prompt, right? This prompt you have to use it actually. Am I clear, sir? Okay. Now what we do, right? Now, now we have this readme.txt file, but we saw that this readme.txt file, whatever we are having, right? This is an empty file actually. It's an empty file, right? Doesn't have any content, right? Now you'll say that Rajesh, let's change, do some changes actually. Now let's make one more changes and add a commit, right? So now what you do is you need to just do some changes to this file actually. So what I will do, I'll come over here and I'll do a notepad and readme.txt. I'll open this in a notepad. Okay, it has opened it. Now what I'll do that, I'll just say this is the first line which you are adding it actually, So now I'll do that. I'll save this file, right? Now once you save this file, now you just say git status. Now you could see that actually that file is in the modified state actually. It's a modified state, right? Right? Is it fine, guys? Now you have
So,
modified actually.
Rajesh,
Yes, sir.
what you did in Note, you have opened that file on Notepad space hyphen.
Hmm. No, that's a
Uh,
command I'm calling. No, this is the Windows command, right? Notepad. You're opening in the Notepad. Either you can go here, or else either you can go and you can open this file like this, and you can edit it here. But if you're doing in a terminal, everything, right? You can call this Notepad and specify this file name. It will open
okay,
that
okay,
file. This is a Windows command actually.
okay, okay.
Hmm. Right? So once you do it, what we did, I just added one text inside. Earlier it was a empty file, right? It didn't have anything. Now I just changed this. I just did an addition one line actually. That's all. And now what happened when I try to do the changes? Now again, what happened? This file, it is showing it as a modified. But here what happened? What one thing you can make out that it is not showing it as an untracked. Earlier, what happened? You could see that actually it was showing earlier before it was showing something untracked. It means that your Git is still your Git has still this file was not under the control of the Git. Hence, it was saying untracked actually. So from the untracked to the track, what you did basically, you did a Git add command, right? Git space add space specific file name. You made the file to move from the working tree to the staging area. So once the file come to staging area, it means that it starts getting tracked actually. It means that your Git will start tracking that file actually. And hence what happened, the color of the file will also get changed. It will show as a green color, right? Am I clear, sir? Now let me do one thing. Let me try to even create one file also here. Like I will just say something like new item, and I'll do one thing. I'll create one file by something like license file, something. So you create a file also now. So now a modified file is already there now. Okay, we modified this file, as well as now recently we created a new file also, right? With the help of a new item, or else you can even create a file, right? With the geo also, you can go right click and you can create this file also. Am I clear, sir? Now once you do it, so you could see that here it shows that this file is created here, right? Now if you go and if you try to do a git status now, enter. Can you see here, guys? Now this file is in a modified state, but this is a newly created file, right? And it is showing the untracked file. It means that still your git, this is a newly created file. This file has not come under the git control. It means the git is not managing any kind of history on to this file. Hence what happened, the file is under the untracked file. So now what you can say that, Rajesh, there are basically two types of files. One is an untracked file and other is a tracked file. Yeah, right. Tracked and untracked file, right? Right. So usually what we say that in working tree, or yeah, in working area or in working tree, we are having two types of files. Two types of file. One is a tracked and the other is an untracked. Am I clear, sir? Right? So untracked file, what happened? That what is untracked file? It is it never had or has been part of the Git actually. Never has been a part of I can say Git history. I can say like this. That is what is called as a untracked file actually. But was a tracked file, yeah, it has been a part of the Git history. That your Git is basically it is trying to track it actually. Now these two files, guys. Now whatever these two files are, that these two files resides in your working tree only. Here only it is residing. Now you need to push these two files from here to the staging area. For that, you need to call a git add command, right? Git command with the add option, you have to call it actually, right? So what you do, I'll just say git add, and I'll just say readme.txt space, what is that? License, right? These two files you are running, you are executing the git add along with these two files actually. I'll say either you can give both this file like this, or either you can just say git add dot. If it's a git add dot, whatever it is in the present directory, whatever the files are there, everything will be pushed into the staging area, right? Instead of mentioning individual files like git add readme.txt space license, instead of mentioning all the file names, I'll just say git add space dot actually. So dot means from the present directory, which are all the files which are there, whether it's a tracked or untracked, all the files which is there, right? It will be pushed into the staging area. I'll just say enter. Can you see here? It has pushed into staging area. When I do a git status, now you could see that both these files are turned into the green color now. It means that these two files now are present under uh, your staging area, and both the files now are under track of the git itself actually. Am I clear, sir? Right? Now what you do that, now you say, Rajesh, finally I want to commit the changes actually. So for that, what happened, right? You need to use a git commit -m, and I'll just say -m is message. You need to give some appropriate message. I'll just say second commit. Second commit. So okay. Now commit the changes. So just say git commit -m something second commit. This is the command you are running. Right? So let me go here and let me try to run this command. Now you could see that, guys, you have committed actually. Now if I try to run a git status, so check that, okay, it says that nothing to commit, working tree is clean now. But you already committed it. I want to check the history actually. Then in that case, I'll just say git log and say enter. Now you could see that it maintains a series of all the commits what you did. The first commit what you did was the commit I message was the first commit, and you could see that you got one commit ID, right? And you could see that it also mentioning the some metadata information, who's the author, that Rajesh is the author who created, who committed it, and then like it is an email ID, and this is the time stamp at which the commit was run. Similarly, you could see that when we did a second commit, you could see that actually it generated a new commit ID, and then you could see that actually that it is maintaining all this metadata information. And here what happened that you are able to see that what are the message you did, right, for the git commit command. That message is displayed over here in this git log actually. So git log basically shows you all kind of history. It means that what are the changes you did, right? Everything it will show history actually. Now, if you watch it carefully, if you watch this folder, guys, okay, what you can make out from this folder, you will say that Rajesh, what are the latest commit what you did, like the second commit what you do, that all the changes are there under this folder. But Method, you could see that the second time when you committed it, basically you created a new file by name license. This exists here actually, right? And how did it exist actually? Basically, when you committed it, you got the second commit ID. With the help of the second commit ID, what happened that you are able to see that this file exists, and this has the latest changes, whatever it is there onto that file actually, onto that file. Now, if you want to pictorially understand this, actually, basically what happened, guys, like you have to always understand through pictorial means you have to always draw the diagram like this. For example, like this is the first commit I did actually, right? This is the first commit I did, and consider this the commit name as something like C1 is the first commit actually, which I did it. C1 is the first commit. And what is the message of the first commit? The first message of the first commit was first commit like this. This was the message. Once you did it, basically what happened, right? You try to did a second commit. So from the first commit, you try to move to the second commit. This is, we call it as a second commit actually, right? This we call the second commit. And basically, uh, this is the second commit. This is the second commit. And what is the second commit? Consider this commit ID as C2. This is the second commit. Okay. And the message what we saw was second commit. Like this. We give the, by committing, we did git commit hyphen m specify the message, right? That's a second commit. So now what happened, right? Now once you move from the first commit to the second commit, in the first commit, what happened, right? You had the files by name, what is it? Readme.txt. And also like it had some content, like for example, something like this is the first line, something like that. You had a message also in, you had a content also in that file actually, right? But okay, now, but the thing is that, but when you're trying to do a second commit, so second commit, it has all the changes of all the previous commits, right? For example, it also has the change of this one, this also it has, plus it also has an additional, that here what happened in the second commit, you created a new file by name license. So in the second commit, you even have this file actually. And now what is happening, if you see it very carefully, guys, actually what happened, right? It is something known as a head pointing to a master, something like it is showing. Now what happened, usually what happened, right? Whenever you have this kind of a commit, the latest commit what we have, right? This is the latest commit what we have, that is C2. Okay. And this, there will be something known as a pointer, which we call it as a head actually. So the head will be pointing to the latest commit what you did it actually. So here, this is the second commit. You did it. So the head will be pointed to the second commit. Suppose tomorrow assume that you do a third commit, you do a fourth commit, you do a fifth commit, you do n number of commits. This head will be keep moving to the latest commit what you did it. So tomorrow you try to do a, what happened? You try to do a third commit. We call this as a C3 commit. Now what happened, right? Now your head will be pointing to the third commit like this. Sorry. Your head will be uh, pointing to the third commit. How do you rotate it actually? Okay, I'll remove it. So now what happened that your, this head now will be pointing to the latest commit or the latest commit. This head will be pointing. So what is this head is all about, everything we will discuss in some time, not now. So from the C to second commit, we try to move to the third commit, we call it the C3 actually. And this might have some message like that. For example, like something. Third commit is as a message actually, something like this. Am I clear, sir? So always, whenever you're working with the Git, actually, always try to draw this kind of a picture, graph picture in your mind, actually, because you should know how exactly the things are going on when you are working on the Git, actually. Because Git, you might be doing a lot of changes, right? You might be creating a lot of commits. You might be going back to some to a different commit. You will be doing a lot of operations. So basically what happen, you need to basically build this kind of a graph kind of a stuff so that this remains in your mind, and you will be able to easily understand the core concept of how this Git works actually. Right, guys? Am I clear? So you need to maintain this actually. Now, if you see it very carefully here, guys, if you see very carefully, your head is actually pointing to the latest commit ID. Right? Whatever you did the second commit, right? You are always your head will be point to the latest only. Right? Say, for example, you say that Rajesh, this is something like it is maintaining history. Yes, it is maintaining history. This is the first commit which was there, and this was the second commit which was there. Now their head is actually pointed to the second commit only, the latest commit what we have. And the latest commit what we have, guys, as per the diagram, the latest commit, the commit is something where this is the latest C2 commit which you are pointing, which has all the changes whatever you have it. Say, for example, you say that Rajesh, I want to go back to my previous commit. Because since it is a history, can I traverse back to the history? Can I go to some kind of a commits where I committed previously? I want to go and see what I did a commit. Yes, sir, you can do that also. Right? So how to do it? You use a command. Don't worry now, all these commands you will see it later. Tick, git checkout and specify this commit ID. Now you watch, guys, as soon as I do a git commit, now you could see that you are in the second commit. Now you could see that when I try to do a checkout to the first commit, you will see that this license file will no longer exist here. See here, when I try to do a git checkout and give this commit ID like this, paste it here, say enter. Now you could see that you have moved to your first commit actually. Now you could see that you are not seeing that license file, because license file got created when you did for the second time you did a commit. At that time what the license file was created. In the first commit you didn't had any kind of a license, you didn't had any kind of a license file at all. Am I clear, sir? Right? Now you said, Rajesh, okay, fine, I understood. Now I want to go back to my master actually. So you can just say checkout git checkout, and I'll just say master. Now you could see that you got back again that license file. So now you could see that if you do a git log, now you could see that now what happened that you could able to see this commit actually, right? When you do a git checkout and do the first commit, right? Now you do a git log. Now you could see that you are in the first commit only, right? You moved from the second commit to the first commit. Now you want to go back everything, then you have to say git checkout and then say specify master. Now you'll go back to your previous commit actually. Just say just git log. Now you could see that you'll go back to your the latest commit what you did. So you can traverse back from one commit to other commit because that you're maintaining history. When you're maintaining history, you can travel to any kind of a commit ID you want with the help of a git checkout command. Git and specify the checkout option. Am I clear, sir? Guys, is it fine till here? One last thing before we close the today's session. So we try to understood very basic command today. Okay, that's good for us. Now the thing is that, guys, if you want to visualize in all these things, like as I said, you can create this kind of a graphical thing in your mind, and you can do it actually. Or else, what you can do basically, you can go to the Google. And here what happened, like there is one interesting site which I found. That was a mermaid live editor actually. Okay, it's an online flow chart diagram editor actually. I found this very well. Right here, what happened that you can just click on to the Git actually. Right, if you click on to the Git, now you could see that actually this is what I'll get a pictorial diagram actually. I'll get a pictorial diagram like this. Now what happened, right? What I will do basically, I will try to remove all these things. So it maintains a graph actually. So what I will do basically, guys, Okay, I'll just do a 1 second. Yeah, I'll just remove all these lines. You could see that I did a commit actually. Okay, and I will do one more commit. Like I got a second commit here. Now what I will do that in the next line, I will check out to another branch. I'll just say check out develop branch. See, check out to the develop branch, right? Sorry, not check out. Sorry, man. What is it? Syntax error. What is it? Need. Uh, Sorry, what is it actually? Branch actually. Branch develop. I'm creating a new branch develop, and then like I will do a checkout to the develop branch, right? Develop branch. See, develop branch now, right? After it actually, after you check out to the develop branch, right? Basically, what you do that you basically you do an again commit here. Okay, one more commit you do. Again, you try to create a branch of something release branch. Check out release branch. Here again you do a commit and you do a commit. See here, you are seeing this kind of a pictorial thing. See, right? You are working on something, a master branch where you did two commits. After two commits, what happened? You created a new branch by name develop. And under the develop, what you did, like basically you did a two commits. After doing a two commit, again from here, you went to the release branch, you created a new release branch, and again you started working. So life is not that kind of a straightforward, right? It's not like that you'll be only working on master branch. So you need to work on some kind of other branch also, like let it be a feature branch, let it be a develop branch or something because it is branch, and where you'll be doing some commits and all. And like you need to merge these changes from the release branch to a develop branch, and from the release develop branch, finally you have to merge to the main branch. So all this activity, guys, we will be going through it. We'll be learning everything like how this branching strategy works, right? What are the how do you switch from one branch to other branch and everything? How do you do a kind of a rebasing? How do you do a merge? What is merge conflict? How do you overcome from the merge conflict? What is git rebasing? Fast forward? What is git cherry pick? Right? Git diff actually. There are so many things are there which we will be learning actually. So I would suggest that if you go through this site mermaid dot live editor, right, you will be able to easily visualize everything whatever you're doing through this visualizer. Or else you can even draw in the MS Paint and you can understand that way also. So initially we have to learn through a pictorial representation only so that we will understand how these things are working actually. Am I clear, sir? So with this, we will be stopping today's session. Okay, guys. So tomorrow we will try to continue many more things in the Git tomorrow, guys. Okay, we'll be continuing with many more commands, right? Many other concepts we'll be learning, uh, so that we will be understanding about what is this branch is all about. When we create this branch, what is this branching strategy is all about, and how do you switch from one branch to other branch, everything, and many other commands are there related to Git, right? We will be learning all those uh, commands. Tomorrow, after some time, what happened? You said that Raj, I want to make one server as a Git server. How do you create that as a Git server? How do you make it as a bare Git server actually, right? And all other machines, how to make that other machines as a client machine, right? And how do you connect from the client machine to the main server machine? How do you connect it? It means that how do you do a push pull everything, right? How do you push into from your client machine to the server machine? How do you do all those operations? We will be seeing in upcoming sessions. Am I clear, sir? So with that, I'll be stopping today's session. Let me stop the recording.
Rajesh, do we have class tomorrow morning?
Yes, sir. We'll have the AWS class, right? At 8:15, I'll have it.
Yes.
First day class, we'll have it. First day, I'll go very slowly at the initially two, three classes. What I will do in the Git, right? I will just explain about what is this cloud computing is all about. Next two sessions, more or less, it will be kind of a theoretical only because I have to explain about the what is cloud computing is all about, right? Why we migrate from the on-premise to the cloud actually. What are the different vendors are there who provide this cloud supports, right? What is public cloud? What is private cloud? All such theoretical aspect I have to explain. What is this availability zone? What is region? all about, and like what kind of an advantage you're going to get it when you migrate to the cloud, what is the disadvantage. Some theoretical aspect I have to cover for 2 or 3 sessions, maybe 2 sessions I'll try to cover. After that, what happened, I will straight away get into the AWS networking, because AWS networking is very core component, guys, which we all have to understand it very well. All the network related service, we all have to understand it very well. Along with the concept, we need to do a lab exercise, so that we will be very much comfortable in doing all kind of lab exercises. That is very much important, right? So once we complete that, before we start with the AWS networking, I would try to take around some 2 sessions on what is this networking is all about, some basic aspect of networking, right? Like for example, what are the different class of IP addresses, what is public IP address, what is private IP addresses, what's the range, what you're going to get in the public IP address, what is private IP addresses. So all that basic concepts, once we are aware of it, like then what is subnetting, how do you create a subnets and all, maybe like 2 3 sessions will go with that itself. Once we are comfortable with some basic networking stuff, right, then we will get into the AWS networking. In the AWS networking, we'll start with the VPC, we will start with the security groups, we'll try to understand about what is VPC. VPC peering is all about actually what is route table, what is route table association, how do you create a subnets. All that things are very much interesting. We will be understanding the theoretical, plus we'll be doing lab access. Here, what happened when we get into understanding about the AWS networking, right? Uh, Theoretical is very much less, not like that much actually, where I'll be spending more time on explaining theoretically. Everything is practical only. Finally, I have to tell you the concept and show everything in the console. So when you're doing through the console, can I do the same thing, everything through a command line? AWS CLI command line. So I have to even show that also. I have to install AWS CLI command. Okay, and I have to create an IAM role for the authentication. Once I did it, I'll try to run some commands, AWS CLI command, to show the same thing what I do through GUI, right? I can able to do everything to the command line also. So you need to learn about what are all the commands are there, which are AWS CLI related commands are there, what options you have to pass it. So it will be a kind of a hectic thing, guys, actually. So it will, I think, as per my understanding, first 2 sessions will be a theoretical aspect of the cloud computing. Okay. After that, 3 sessions will be basic networking one. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 session will be only having only basic things only. After the 5 session, we will be starting with the core AWS networking. So from there, I think another 8 to 9 sessions will take me to complete the whole networking, AWS networking part. Okay, 8 or else max you can consider as a 10 sessions actually. So once we cover those 10 important sessions, right, we will be understanding all the services which are there under the networking, part, right? Whatever are there, everything we will be covering. So yeah, that's how I thought that first let me cover the networking part very well, and also like what kind of interview question answers will be asked when it comes to AWS networking. I have some lot of questions are there with me. I'll be sharing those questions. I'll be even giving you answer also how to answer it all for such questions. Some tricky questions, some scenario based question also they will ask you. We have to dig all those scenario based question also, and I have to come up with the answers for you all. And also like, is there any way of automating all these things actually? Can I do the all the things manually what you did? Like can I do through Terraform, or else can I do through a cloud formation templating? Yes, we have to discuss even that also. Once I finish the networking, next topic which I'm planning to cover is a IAM actually, identity and access management actually. That's the second service of AWS which I want to cover it actually. Like that was slowly one by one we'll take. After IAM, I'll be taking with the EC2 service and no storage, and I'll go with the load balancer. I'll go with the auto scaling load balancer. There are many things are there, guys. Like that, I'll be keep going Route 53. After that, I'll be going with the database actually DB. DB itself will take around 7 8 sessions. It'll take actually. Storage also will take me around like 7 8 sessions. It'll take me to complete the storage part. So slowly, one by one, when we try to cover all the services, right, you will understand all aspect of what are the different services, right, in the AWS, right. Same thing if you want it, like we can even cover in Azure also. But again, Azure I have to take it as in a separate course. As a separate course, I have to take it for the Azure cloud. So one more thing, guys, one cloud you become expert. Okay, first initially you take either any one cloud, Azure or AWS, right? Become expert in one cloud and try to learn the other cloud very fast, because that is what in today's time, they're expecting that you should have a multi-cloud knowledge. Yeah, for me, like for in most of the calls, they are asking me directly, do you how much knowledge you have in GCP? For some reason, what happened now? What happened? Lot of requirements have started for the GCP now. So it's not like AWS or Azure. Azure and AWS are there in the market. I'm not saying no, but all of a sudden they started asking GCP now, because most of the projects what companies using are on GCP cloud actually, and they need a person who is well known in GCP, and even also it is good that if he's certified right in GCP certificate right, that also like they're expecting the person should be certified also. So it's something like that. So we can't satisfy everything, guys. Like if you're aware of one cloud, yet yes, that's good only, because you can fetch a job with the knowledge of one cloud. But in today's time, in the hard time, one cloud is not sufficient. At least minimum one, minimum two, or all the clouds you should have a knowledge actually. So I would say that first learn AWS and then learn parallelly the Azure, right? Whenever you get time, right, later you can even switch to the Google Cloud, GCP also, and you can learn GCP also. And you can't learn everything, guys. Like main important service only you learn it at the the first cloud when you're learning, right? Like for example, if you're learning AWS, try to learn almost all services, whatever it is, all major important service. When it comes to Azure, yeah, more or less try to learn the same thing. GCP, you don't have that much time. Learn some few important services, right? Like networking related services and server related services, serverless related services, DB related services, few things actually, and then like identity and access management, right? Those services. Some of the services you can learn in GCP, and you can say that okay, I know GCP. Like that only you have to do now. We don't have any other option now. You say that okay, I have to sit and I have to learn everything. No, it'll another take 3 4 months. It'll take you to complete GCP. We don't have that much time. Within 2 3 weeks, you have to within 1 or 2 weeks only you have to complete all the things. So you need to quickly adapt to learn all the things very fast, and then claim that you know GCP and you have worked on GCP, you have worked on our projects like that only. Like I am also doing like that. Even tomorrow, even you guys will also doing the same thing. So at least try to learn one or two cloud very well, guys. Automatically, the third cloud or whichever other cloud you learn, right, you can learn in a very faster pace. Am I clear, sir? So with that, let me stop the recording. Guys, tomorrow morning we will meet for the first session. Okay, let me stop the recording.